Hello and welcome to Guitars for Bars. I'm your host, James. It's been less than 24 hours since I posted the first video of the guitar case. So far, it's had 44 views and nobody's left a comment. So I think I know which way I'm going to go with the design. So I didn't really want to use that salvaged hardware that I had in the first video, so I went to Home Depot and I got hinges and latches. Now the latches are black, the hinges are black. There's 2 in each pack. I'm going to use 3 of the latches and 3 of the hinges, and that's going to leave me 1 hinge and 1 latch for the next case, which I'll have to get another pack of latches and another pack of hinges for. So I still got to get a handle, and I might get a latch to lock it with. Alright, I got the lid and the body fitting together to my satisfaction. Time to move on to the next step. I've got the boards rounded off on the outside edge and also on the inside. So I'm to the point now where I can start working on the inside of it and putting a few pieces on the outside. I cut some slats out of some scrap wood that I had, and I'm going to go around all 4 sides of the guitar case with this stuff. I'm starting with this piece here, then I'll add the piece to the lid, and then I'll use those to line up the pieces that go on the top and bottom, and then the other pieces that go on the lid. So the first 2 boards are flush cut and sanded on the flat surface, and I sanded the areas where the longer boards are going to go, but I'm going to clamp those on first so that I can use them to help me position where the boards are going to go on this, on this other edge. So they'll match up with this. And I'll glue the other edge on and cut it, and then I'll glue the long piece on. I use the square to position my 2 longer boards. I butted it up against the boards I already had on there, and then butted the longer boards up to it, and then I'm taping them in place. That way I can remove them. And then there's the other one. Just to make sure they don't move, I clamped them in place with a couple of the little bitty cheap clamps from Harbor Freight. I held the boards in place and marked with the ink pen where they go. Looks like I'm going to be moving my latch, because it's right there where the latch was going to go. Same way down here. So I just relocate the latches, not a big deal. Now I'm going to take the boards off and glue these in place. I got my edge boards glued on. They look like they line up pretty good. These are the clasp or latch side. Flip it over. Give me a hand. Give me a second. It's one-handed. Okay. Whoops. Now, the back side. Okay, here we go. The back side is beveled so that the lid will actually open, because otherwise the boards would prevent the whole thing from opening. I've got the first board glued in place on the lid. The boards are glued on, cut, and sanded all the way around both the lid and the body of the case. They line up pretty good. So now I gotta work on the inside. I'm gluing and clamping in the neck support part of the guitar case. It's made out of 2 pieces of this thick styrofoam that came from packaging from some medicine I was getting from my bacteria infection. And the bottom piece, the part you can see here, is some squishy foam with adhesive on the back that I got from a place where I used to work. They discarded the end of the roll that was too curled up to use. So I got quite a few feet of that, and I use that on the whole bottom part and on the inside of the lid. I've got both sides of the neck support done. I got a piece of the adhesive backed foam stuck to the 2 pieces of styrofoam. Then I got styrofoam here, I got styrofoam here, and then I got a piece of the adhesive backed foam along this side, because this will be the side when you're carrying it that the guitar neck is resting on. So I use some of that there. And then the part where the body goes, I got a little notch for the strap button. I had to put a piece of this adhesive backed foam, a little strip of it under this end to raise this up, because it was resting on the neck too much, so I had to level that out a little bit. And I also carved this out a little bit right here and over here, and I sanded all this smooth at an angle. You can see here where I've got the pieces glued together. So I sanded all that so the guitar sits flat on that, and it's got this piece of foam, so there's a little bit of cushion when it rests on it. It gives a little bit, and there's none behind here, so there's a little bit of an air gap under all this. I still got to smooth this glue out when it dries a little bit, but that's all going to get covered with fabric or something. And then this piece is glued on, but I got a little bit of a gap at the end, so I'm probably going to very carefully cut a piece to stick in that, or I may not, because when I put the liner in it, the fabric or fur or whatever I'm going to use, I got to have a place to tuck it in. So I'm going to tuck it in back there, probably, at least some. And then over here on the edge, I left a little bit of a gap, but I think I'm going to cut that out a little bit more. And the same thing over here, there's a little bit more of a gap, you can see it. That way I can, take a knife or something, a kitchen knife, and just tuck the fabric down in there. And then there's a gap right here that's big enough for a guitar strap and like a little pack of picks or something. And then this end here, I still got to put the adhesive foam or some styrofoam here around the headstock, and back here in the corners I got to cut pieces for those and glue those in. And I'll probably make a little piece for right here and right here to wedge in so that the body doesn't wiggle side to side very much. If you made it this far into the video, then congratulations, you're a real hardcore viewer. So I just wanted to say, you probably noticed that I'm a hoarder. I hoard anything I can get my hands on that I think I'm going to be able to use in the future. I got all this styrofoam in the mail with medicine that I had to get for my infection, and I saved it. The foam with the adhesive back I got from where I used to work, I saved it. I never know what I'm going to end up needing. I've got all kinds of stuff stored. Wood, masonite, foam, styrofoam, bubble wrap, all kinds of materials that I can use for anything. I got the nylon, the Cordura nylon. I've got some green, I've got some black, I've got vinyl. So I'm going to try to use as much of that stuff that I've got already on these projects, and it's keeping the price down. I could have done this one almost free. I could have used the salvaged hardware I've got, but I really wanted to put something nicer on it, so I spent like $13 so far on that, and I'm still going to buy a handle, and I might get some little feet to go on it too. So but I'm definitely going to get a handle. I think it's like $11, so that's going to put me at about $24 plus tax, about $25 plus glue. And then I'm going to buy the material to do the lining with and the paint, which I'm not sure if I've got the paint already or not. But, you know, we're looking at 30 to 35 bucks for a guitar case. So that's pretty good. I've got the star cut and glued on to the case. That's what it looks like before paint.